Look at a crowded coffee shop. It is loud, chaotic, and constantly moving. But navigating it by feel, dodging a barista, finding an empty chair, catching a friend's eye, often works flawlessly. That organic, intuitive movement is the artisan approach to human experience. You have likely spent years refining that internal sense. You have mapped your body's signals, cleaned out your mental feed, and learned to tune your personal instrument to be fully present in the room. But relying entirely on gut instinct has a hard limit. We call this the artisan's ceiling. When you face a massive life pivot or a tangled, multi-layered systemic problem, pure intuition eventually stalls out. You cannot easily scale a gut feeling. If you try to communicate a purely intuitive strategy to a partner, a team, or a complex organization, the process breaks down. Without a shared formal language, your internal clarity remains locked inside your own head. To build a structure that actually holds weight across different domains of your life, you need to transition from the artisan who builds by feel to the architect who designs by measurement. This requires Meta-Matics. Meta-Matics is a formal mapping tool designed to take the wisdom you have already embodied and operationalize it. You are moving from simply waking up to actively architecting your reality. Watch what happens when we take a messy, organic human interaction and overlay a precise framework. We transform an unpredictable emotional storm into a system we can actually analyze and navigate. You have spent the first 2 parts of this journey building a house by living in it. Part 3 provides the exact blueprints. The foundation of this blueprint is a mapping equation. AB plus CD equals transformation. In this system, the top variables, A and C, are the iterators. These are the specific content, skills, or desires you bring to a situation. The bottom variables, B and D, are the delineators. These represent the external context or filter that shapes your iterators. The division symbol signifies that your iterator is filtered by or refined by your delineator. The addition symbol in the middle, a plus inside a circle, represents how these refined elements are integrated together to create a new emergent state. Meaningful change does not come from a single variable acting alone. It happens entirely in the specific relationship between your internal content and the external environment. Meta-Matics treats your personal choices less like a guessing game and more like a physics problem. It gives you a calculable equation that you can test, adjust, and improve. Let's apply this to a real scenario. Imagine a parent and a teenage daughter caught in a cycle of escalating defensive arguments. There is a brief window of time, exactly a quarter second, right after a trigger occurs. We call this the window of saturated synergization. Saturated synergization is the exact moment where conscious awareness intercepts an automatic reaction to create a deliberate response. If the parent applies the formula, they bring curiosity as their iterator, filtered through support as their delineator. They integrate that with the right time and environment. The equation resolves into a clear, intentional approach. This creates a state of dual participation. The parent remains fully in the room, feeling the genuine emotion of the conflict, while simultaneously observing the dynamic from the outside, like a director watching a scene. That mathematical framing creates immediate spaciousness in the mind. Instead of snapping back with a reactive comment on autopilot, the parent has the room to choose a deliberate, productive response. Every resolved quarter-second window functions as a fractal unit, a discrete building block for a much larger life architecture. This diagram shows the root-branch-leaf-fruit hierarchy. It is a visual map of a complete human life system, where the central root expands outward into 4 primary branch squares. This close-up shows how specific everyday interactions, the outer fruit nodes, aggregate into tactical groupings called leaves. Those leaves then feed directly into a branch, which defines a major domain of your life, like your career or your relationships. This full chart shows the complete recursive nature of the framework. The exact same mathematical logic governs the smallest daily habit on the outer edge and the largest, most structural life goal at the center. Mastering these individual moments provides the technical leverage required to adjust the central root of your long-term trajectory. When you integrate this system, your daily experience shifts. Life stops feeling like a series of random accidents to manage and becomes a sequence of intentional designs you execute. This formalization gives you the ability to accurately predict incoming stress thresholds. You can model complex scenarios and test your responses on paper before you ever have to live them in reality. The mathematical blueprint does not replace the raw, organic feeling of the lived experience. Instead, it ensures the house you are building is structurally sound enough to actually live in. You have moved from unconscious competence to conscious mastery. The construction continues, but the blueprint is now in your hands. You are the architect.